What good idea doesn't work? Because people are crappy. Leaving a bowl of candy in front of your house on Halloween with a sign saying take one. In high school we had this speaker one day who told a story. He said he would put a fake scarecrow on his porch for the weeks leading up to Halloween. Then, on Halloween, he would dress up in the outfit and sit on the porch holding a bowl with a sign please take one. Anyone who took more than one would get an awful scare when he jumped up and chased them. What in the holy frick is a real scarecrow? I just wish I could leave my bike unlocked, even for a minute. The key is having a theft-proof bike. That is one so crappy that nobody would bother stealing it. My previous bike was a 1972 model bought used, new tires and brakes at least, so old I literally left it unlocked in front of one of the busiest stations in London, and it was in the exact spot, no other bikes around it. It definitely works, and is cheaper than buying insurance. A large downtown church had to remove its offerings for the poor collection boxes. Even though they were mounted to the wall and locked, people would smash them open and steal contributions generously given for those in need. My church stopped giving food out at the food pantry because a couple of dudes with a beef picked a fight in the church basement and one of them knifed the other. Now they just send the food to a distribution center. It sucks that there are more layers between people and the assistance they need, but the volunteer staff was all little old ladies. We had something similar happen. My brother and I were no longer allowed to volunteer at the soup kitchen when we were in our teenage years because some jackass tried to pick a fight with my brother, who was a 15-year-old kid at the time. Thankfully my brother was smart enough to do the want to take this outside thing, then as soon as the guy was outside locked the door behind him and called the cops. A local bakery used to give out the unsold bread at the end of the night. They had to stop when someone tried suing them saying the bread got them sick. The bakery I work at used to give unsold bread to a food bank, but they quit cause they found out food bank staff started selling the bread in secret. This is why we can't have nice things. FFS. Group projects. Expectation. A few people of differing opinions discuss a topic, offering different viewpoints to give an all-encompassing presentation. Reality. 1 or 2 people actually do the work. One person makes excuses to miss all of the work time. Another person tries to hastily add something before the project is turned in, so they can say they did something. And the last person only shows up day of presentation and asks which part they need to talk about. In high school we would have to present our group projects in front of the class. So my goal was to find the most socially awkward people I know who would hate to stand in front of everyone, so they would not be able to speak in front of everyone. I would make the deal. You guys do it, and I will present it. So I was that guy. Sorry equals. If you agreed ahead of time I think that's fair. Keeping public restrooms clean. Seriously. If you piss on the seat, clean it up. If you're a dude, lift the seat. Shake the water off your hands while you are at the sink to keep the counter clean. If you drop some paper on the floor, pick it up. All these people that think bathrooms are disgusting are the ones who make it disgusting. On a similar note, don't leave the goddamn faucet running. Found this twice in the last month in the public bathroom at the restaurant I work at it. Like, WTF, who are these cretins? People who will do anything if they believe the responsibility isn't theirs. They are the people that employers should be putting on blacklists. Baggage carousels. Stand the frick back people and we can all reach our bags when they come round. Crowd into the carousel as close as you can get and you block everyone whose bag happens to come out before yours. They all need a gentle slope away from the carousel so it isn't comfortable to stand next to it. Dude, this could change the world. The 10 items or less express line. Still remember the Safeway 10 items express lane Nazi in my college days. I know I had 9 items. She told me to get off the express lane. I insisted. She rings me and counted each and every item out loud and sure enough ended a 9 bish. Something similar happened to me. The maximum was 15. I had 12 items including a hand of bananas. It was an Albertsons, and when the bananas were in sale, they sold them by the unit. When they weren't, they were sold by weight. Confusing AF. Apparently they were on sale that one time, so at the end of the transaction it showed on the receipt that There were 16 items, and the snarky bitch told me that next time she wouldn't ring me up if I had more than 15. I didn't say anything because I hadn't seen the receipt and I was confused, but after I realized they counted each banana, I almost went back just to punch her on the throat. Wikipedia's please donate $1, and if everyone in X country did, we would end our campaign in an hour. You know what's weird? If I saw someone out in the street with a bucket raising money for Wikipedia, like a charity fundraiser does, I would happily chuck in £1. But going through the hassle of having to make an online payment for just $1 seems like too much hassle to me. So I never bother. And I should, because I use Wikipedia daily. I guess I'm a crappy person. If you saw someone out on the street taking donations for Wikipedia, it would undoubtedly be an addict scamming people. In 1967, the White Bicycle Plan was implemented in Amsterdam. It was a policy where thousands of unlocked white bicycles were placed around the city, free to use for anyone. People could just grab a bike they chanced upon, cycle to their destination and leave the bike there for someone else to use. Unfortunately, the plan failed quickly, as most of the bikes were stolen in no time. What the heck, man? That would be so freaking awesome. Why steal something that's already readily available? I wanna have free to borrow bikes all around town. Paris had a similar bike program, which also failed, largely due to the fact that the bikes were treated like crap because people didn't own them. People will treat an object that they own much better rather than something that they simply borrow from the local government. Science. Seriously, when I have to question who's funding your research, every time I read a paper, we've utterly failed. So true. I do research at a VA hospital. If our study doesn't directly affect veterans or have implications that would save the government money in the long run, they don't want to hear it. What do you mean you want to repeat an experiment to test its validity? Somebody already has the results. Leave a penny, take a penny. There always has to be some arsehole who takes all the pennies. I have had multiple people try to explain take a penny, leave a penny to me, and I never get it. It's just a very alien concept in the UK. Say your total is $7/nuts/whatever. Well crap, all you have is 6.97. But all is not lost. There are 5 pennies in the tray. It is socially acceptable to take 3 of them to complete your transaction at this point. And if in the future you happen to have a few pennies included in your change, pitch them in the tray. Yellow traffic light. Other countries, please slow down and ready to stop. My country, look left right. If no police, go maximum speed before it turns red. You ever hit the point of no return? If I try to stop, I have to hammer on my brakes. If I want to make it through, I have to hammer on the gas. Sometimes, it's just a moment of panic. Hammering on the gas is safer than slamming on the brake. The rule that my driving instructor gave me was that if you have to brake so hard that it is dangerous to those behind you, then you can go through. Charities. Frick you executive directors who spend 90% of donations on your salaries and operating expenses and only use 10% for the people the charity is supposed to benefit. That's right, I'm talking to you American Red Cross, Susan G. Komen Foundation, Wounded Warrior Project, and the list goes on and on ad nauseum. I agree with some of the examples, but this metric alone is insufficient to judge a non-profit. Human capital is often one of the highest expenses for a non-profit, so it's not uncommon to see most of the annual budget for small and effective non-profits to go to its staff. Like it or not, non-profit staff need to be fairly compensated for what they do. Yes, I agree the directors shouldn't be making millions, but that's not common if you look at non-profits as a whole. I remember when Locks of Love or some similar organization got in trouble because people found out they auction off some of the wigs they make. If you're not familiar with the concept, people send in their hair to be made into wigs for cancer patients. The charity tried to explain that yes, the hair is donated, but then the hair has to be sorted, treated, and made into wigs, which is not free, plus there are administration costs. So they auction off some wigs to pay all that, because no one really donates money to them. Giving stuff away for free on local Facebook group pages, thinking you can do a nice thing giving away a baby cot and clothes etc, only to later see the guy you gave it all to sell it for cash. Still jaded about that. Or when you have a free items group and people come in and post things like ISO flat screen TV must be 40 inches or more and work perfectly, or ISO Michael Kors purse must be from this season, or only post ISOs and not post anything of their own to give away. Also pisses me off when new moms ask for clothes for their infant, all infant supplies under the sun, and clothes for their other 3 kids as well. Are you taking advantage of people's kindness, or are you just really bad at money management and planning? A couple months ago some lady on Facebook was asking if anyone had a free fridge since hers broke. A couple people offered her a free fridge and honestly they looked decent. She refused because they didn't have a ice maker. Dude even offered to cap the line. Nope, still refused. Faith lockers. Schools where there are no locks on lockers because we trust each other. That is the most naive idea I have read here so far. Hell, my school's lockers have locks and people's crap still gets stolen. In my high school the administration actually went to great lengths to convince students to use a lock. Most didn't, and a few times a year something would get stolen and the administration would have to deal with it, which is why they wanted everyone to use locks. Honestly though, I didn't use a lock for a large majority of my 4 years there and never had anything stolen. Granted, anything of value I kept with me, but textbooks, lunch, gym clothes, whatever I just left in there. For a while I even had a set of computer speakers I found in the dump in there with my locking number written on them in there. Half the school knew they were there and welcome to be used. Just put them back. At least 3 clubs I know of use them after school on various days and multiple groups of students use them during recess. Administration was pretty confused that a bunch of high schoolers could abide by the honor system when they called me into the office about that. Peaceful protest. Hell, peaceful anything. You try to take the high ground and people take advantage. Just the way the world is. Nothing you can do about it. Such a cop-out to say that. No, the world is like that. We see crappy people never make any effort for personal growth. Self-scan checkouts. People just steal. The idea is great. You can check out faster, less staff, and you can see exactly what something costs. But people are crappy and they just steal. They stole before this, but it's easier with self-scan checkouts. Also, they have an excuse. Maybe I forgot to scan it. Thieves don't walk out with trolleys full of stuff. They buy 8 times and steal 1 or 2. They always have an excuse if they get caught. Plus in the UK, if your excuse is legit enough, they won't do anything. The only people stealing more than the customers is the managers. Nintendo. Anything Nintendo. Share you game with friends over link cable, Wi-Fi, Wi-Fi, just play together, damn it. Nope. We are bringing out a console that also converts to a handheld. Wow, excellent idea Nintendo. But it's got hardware from 5 years ago. Well, not great, but I can live with it if the price is. It's gonna cost you the same as a PlayStation 4 or Xbox One. Wait, what? Okay. Jesus. Well, at least me and my mates can play Splatoon online together. Yeah, you gotta pay for online now. We've been pretty clueless with online for years now, but we reckon we can wing it. Frick's sake Nintendo. The extra controllers are gonna cost a bomb too.